Here we go. Okay, at 103. Yep. At 104, folks, we are live at the breaking news. Okay. All right, we're live in just 2 minutes. Again, no update on the missing woman from North Kingstown. We're going to continue to give you the latest, everybody. Yep. No question about it. Okay. We are live in 1 minute. 1 minute.
Getting information that female subject has been found.
Oh. Whoa. She has been found. Whoa. We may have that. We may go to it live. Oh wow. We're gonna find out. We just heard that. Okay, folks, at 106, good afternoon. This is the real news at 106, and we are following this story in North Kingstown where we have a missing female, and we are live on the scene right now. And for those that just heard it, we believe we just heard them come over the police radio and saying that they believe that she may have been found. So again, this is all still just playing out and developing. For those that are watching, we are live on Facebook, we are live on X, we are live on YouTube. But right now, we believe we just heard it come over. Now, for those that are watching, what you see in the distance is the command center they have set up. And we're going to watch for activity there. But this has been a very extensive search going on in North Kingstown. On the Facebook page, we have info on our... Oh, nope, that's Mass. Folks, this portion of the real news on this Wednesday, October 23rd, where we are on location for this missing person search, this portion of our program is brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Homegrown mums and kale are outstanding this year. Pumpkins, straw bales, corn stalks, gourds, Indian corn, native vegetables are available. This is the ideal time for planting. And as you can tell, I mean, the weather is just fantastic today. Folks, it's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Now, right now, it's 1:08 local time, and we are on location in North Kingstown where there's been a massive manhunt for a missing individual, Julia McKay. Now, we just heard over the North Kingstown police radio that it's very possible she was found, but we're going to wait for official confirmation on that. But this has been a massive search going on. Again, we do have her photo. People are asking what she looked like. But the timeline we understand and was mapped out. We covered the press conference live earlier, was in fact that she left her house. For those that are watching, it's to the right of your screen. It's sometime after 5:15, and then very close to where we are right now, she showed up, knocked on someone's door, and requested water and a flashlight. So the person in the home, I believe, provided both. She didn't have a cell phone with her, and then contacted North Kingstown Police shortly after that. So now in the distance, for those that are watching, you can see the command center they have set up, and I'm still watching for activity. They did have a tent set up, but I think they took the tent down simply because it's windier than they initially thought. But we'll see what type of activity that we see there. So anyhow, last night that started it. This morning they put it out. This morning they put out to the media that she was missing, and that's why we are live right here on scene in North Kingstown. For those on Facebook, you know anyone in NK, type in their name, share to them. We'll wait till we have official confirmation from law enforcement, but in monitoring North Kingstown police, I believe I heard them just come over just as we were coming on the air about 4 minutes ago, saying the individual has been found. Now, I also want to mention, you know, so we're not going to speculate. We don't. I mean, the big question would be, what is the condition of the individual, and we don't know that. So we're going to wait to see how that plays out. Now, we will have information up on our website, dpetro.com, which is brought to you by the Coesit Inn, 226 Coesit Avenue, West Warwick. Lunch, dinner, drinks in the lounge. I was there over the weekend. They're waiting for you at the Coesit Inn. Now, I am also monitoring, if you hear the chatter, of local first responders. And I want to give credit to the North Kingstown chief. If you saw earlier, we covered the press conference. We carried it live, and they were very thorough. It was also nice to see town manager. All right, now this, I think, is North Kingstown. Okay, now they're asking for the fire chief to call a cell. All right, so we'll wait. I don't want to jump the gun on that. I know the canteen is here, all the first responders. Folks, they have people searching. And I want to just, I want to double. Okay, she has been found. They found the missing woman. All right, so they have found her. And so that's, I am, the big question is, in what condition is she in? So, North Kingstown Police, I did hear that, has been found. They found the missing woman, but we don't know exactly what the situation is. Maybe we'll see her down here. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to her. We don't know, but we are still here, and it looks like as we're live, they're going to break everything down. But in the meantime, it's 1:12, and we still have. All right, now it certainly would seem that they found her. You watch it live. The command center is literally. I think they're going to be pulling away. You know, listen. We never know. We never know exactly, but I'm going to just tilt for those that are watching. I think you're going to see the command center. For those that are watching, you're going to be able to see it come by in your view, which makes it that I'm just broadcasting a very nice day by the water here in North Kingstown. Well, listen, that is good news. We're going to try to follow up. I mean, the big question is, okay, she was found. They're saying she was found, and that's a good sign, because I think I'm going to speculate a little bit. I believe you can see there is, for those that are watching, there's the emergency management command center that's going to be mobile command center that's going to be going past your view right there. So that would lead us to believe that this does have, in fact, a happy ending with whatever had happened earlier. So that's good news. Good job. Because what I'm thinking out loud is, if in fact they're not saying that, just to be very clear, they're not. Let's talk about what they're not saying at 114. They're not saying her body has been found. They're saying that she has been found. So that would certainly lead me. Hey, that's good news. That's good news on this Wednesday. Some rare good news here on the Real News on this Wednesday, October 23rd. And I want to just double check, but obviously the whole story admittedly was rather unusual and odd, but I want to credit she has been found alive. Okay, has been found alive. Great job by Caitlin at ABC6. Found alive and safe. So that is very good news on this Wednesday, because obviously people were shaken up about it, and admittedly, understandably, why they would be. But again, just repeating this breaking news. Hey, it's not every day that we can have breaking news here on the Real News, but we do, and that is that the missing woman has in fact been found, and found alive and safe. Now, we don't know the particulars. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm hearing, that's interesting. We're, oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. One of the media people I'm talking to, I got chased away by family screaming. She has been found. I don't know why the family would be screaming. They should be thanking the media for drawing attention to it. I don't get that. They should be thanking. They should be saying thank you for bringing attention on the fact that this individual has been missing. So be curious to see if any family members show up down here, if they start yelling at the chosen one. Again, this is what you're hearing in the background is North Kingstown police. Okay, so they're she's en route. I'm all set here. I was just wrapping up once she's actually transported. Okay, they're going to transport her, I would imagine, to I'm going to guess to a local hospital. Folks, this portion of the program is well, again, a part of this story that I did find unusual is the fact that at 9:30 last night, this missing person walked up to a home not far from where I am right now and knocked on the door at 9:30 at night and requested water and a flashlight. Now, I don't know about you, and the individuals, apparently they provided it to her, and then they called the police. I don't know about you, but how would you feel someone knocking on your door at 9:30 at night? I would freak. I'm trying to just go backwards. What if someone did it at 8:30? I'm calling the police. 7:30. No, I think I'm still calling the police. Well, anyhow, folks, remember Rhode Island Guns and Ammo, Post Road in Warwick, Rhode Island Guns and Ammo. Stop in and see George, right near Greg's, right near, right off of Route 37. It's Rhode Island Guns and Ammo, where they have everything. And the story that is coming out about the number of Venezuelan gangs that have penetrated our area and that are out there. And folks, they're, as many of you know, they're in Rhode Island. It's just not highlighted that they're in Rhode Island. Rhode Island Guns and Ammo. contact Stop In and See George, Post Road in Warwick, beautifully redone store, completely refurbished. It's Rhode Island Guns and Ammo, Post Road. All right, I do want to repeat right now at 118, since we are live, and this is the real news. We are on location. Oh. All right, now we're hearing that be on the lookout that they're looking for out of Coventry. Okay, that's interesting. But the missing woman has been found. The missing woman from North Kingstown has been found, and found alive, as a matter of fact. Found alive. So very good news. Great job. I don't know how she was found alive, but she was, in fact. We'll try to find out. I'll get some more of the circumstances and details about it a little bit later, but I also want to stay on schedule here. Folks, so right now, and that is very good news on this Wednesday, as we continue to enjoy this beautiful weather, as we are on scene, Road Patrol Live in North Kingstown, and we just at 1:05, I think it came over, we heard that she was found alive, but we'll get some of the details. We'll get you some of the details a little bit later. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by Kids Club on the Pike, birthday parties, before and after school programs, preschool programs. Kids Club on the Pike. They're right on the Johnston-Cranston line, right there on Plainfield Pike. It's Kids Club on the Pike. Perfect for youth teams, or whether it is a birthday party or a teen party. If you're having some kind of celebration for your children or grandchildren, Kids Club on the Pike is the perfect spot. It's Kids Club on the Pike. Now, folks, good afternoon. Right now, again, the breaking news is they did find the missing woman. It's unusual. You know, I also want to use this as an opportunity to point out the unusual nature of the story, and once again, why the Charlotte Lester story remains so unusual. And before I do that, though, I also want to touch on, now this is someone who, thank goodness, was found. This woman, Julia McKay, has been found and found alive. Now, I want to once again reiterate, there are people that reach out to me and they say they have a missing person. I want to reiterate, what I stress is you should always go through law enforcement. The police were involved with this. I have various people that contact me, and they say that I have a missing family member, and can you put this on your page? And the answer is no, because unless you're going through the police, we deal and wait until the information has gone through law enforcement. Because many times, some of the people that are missing, and I've talked about this a little bit in the past, there's a difference. For instance, this particular situation, this woman left her home at around 5:15, and then goes to a home around here at 9:30, asked for water and a flashlight, and then they just found her after 1 o'clock. Now that's someone missing. Of course, Charlotte Lester, last seen on a Monday night in Apponaug. On Wednesday, her dog was found. On the following Monday, her truck was found, and then she's never been found. Now that is a true missing person. There are other people that they take off with friends or with people that they meet. and maybe they're not in touch with their family, but they're not missing. I think one of the better examples, and there are some pages out there, admittedly, that they roll with it. The example I like to give is there was a girl that attended a local high school, and it was last spring, and a bunch of her friends were going to go away for the weekend or for spring. They're in high school, but it's junior, senior year. And so some people she knew were going to go down south to, some kind of like a spring break gathering in I think it was in South Carolina. So anyhow, so what does she do? She floats to the mother she wants to go, and the mother says no. So instead, she packs a bag and she says, "Oh, I'm going to visit, my grandmother." And she leaves school, gets in the car with her friends, and zips down south. Now, the family and different people missing. Last scene, they made it seem like she had been abducted. So I think it was on a Thursday afternoon or a Friday afternoon. I think it was a Thursday afternoon. So anyhow, on Saturday morning, one of her friends said, "Hey, it's all over the news that you're missing." So she called or texted her mother and said, "I'm fine. I'm in wherever it was, South Carolina." So there's one particular Facebook page, and like they were putting located alive, as if the police went in at the last minute and rescued her. Like that's not what was happening. And that was maybe someone that was a runaway teen. That was a teen that wanted to go away with their friends. But she wasn't abducted. And I've mentioned that's where someone would say, I think P. Diddy's involved in this, as if he flew his jet into TF Green, waited outside Coventry High School, kidnapped this girl, and then zipped off somewhere. I mean, that's not what happened. But my point is, now this is a situation. I mean, it could have been they didn't think it was foul play. The police were right. Doesn't sound like it was foul play. I don't know what's going on with this individual. And I don't know why. That I'm hearing from another member of the media that the family was being hostile and aggressive as the media was trying to cover that she had been found. But in a situation like this, what did the police do? They reach out to the media. Let's do awareness. That's why we came and carried the press conference live. But that is someone, and I'm not saying many times, I think it was in North Smithfield, we went and covered it, and then there was something odd about this man that was missing. And then the next morning, he had slept in somebody's shed overnight. Listen, I get that people sometimes for a period of time disappear, but then you get some people that just they go away. They meet someone and then they take off, and they're not the same. It's not the same as someone abducted. So, for instance, I know there's someone in Warwick, and they have a substance. I don't know them, but I know the story. They have a substance abuse problem, and they meet people, and they go off on these binges, and meet someone that says, "Hey, do you want to come with me to Atlantic City? Do you want to drive with me to Florida?" And they say, "Yeah, sure, I'm in." So they get in the car and they drive to Florida, and they're an adult, and the family's saying, "Oh, missing, missing." Well, yes and no. I mean, not abducted, an adult, not in danger. But that was the other thing about the Coventry thing, in danger, when it was someone that just took off with their friends. All right, 128. This portion of our program is brought to you by AJ Home Improvement. Improve your home, improve your business. 401 323 9252. 401 323 9252. AJ Home Improvement. Frame to finish basements, acoustical ceilings, commercial rehabs, remodeling. They do it all. It's AJ Home Improvement. Call them today, 401 323 9252. 401 323 9252. AJ Home Improvement. Now I'm seeing right now a couple of cars that left are up on the street, 5 houses. Okay. Well, maybe she never left that street. Maybe she is on that street. Maybe she crawled into a garage. We could maybe take a ride up there, but it is a private drive, and we don't know whether or not if the police have that blocked off. So, but many times when we try to get a little adventurous like that, we can lose our fine connection that we have. So I think we're going to stay put just for the moment. I'm trying to decide. Let me think about that just for a moment because it's not that far, and we could certainly ride down there. I did ride down that street. I rode down the street she was last seen. That's why I signed off at 12:30, and then we came back, and the reason was because I wanted to ride down that street. Now I didn't. Does that mean again that maybe I could have found her? It was 1 year ago. I was up in Maine when the guy was missing. I'm telling you, if I had a little more time up there, I would have found him. I'm convinced of that. But I want to stay on schedule. And folks, also remind you about Watson Materials, largest selection of landscape materials in Rhode Island, South County Trail. There was a fire this morning right across from there. Watson Materials, Landscape Supply Center. Give them a call, request a quote, 401 885 0600, 401 885 0600 for Watson Materials. You know what? Why not? Why don't we take a ride and see if we can see some of the action, if possible. I'm not convinced that we're going to be able to do it, but we're already right here, and it's certainly worth the shot. And I'm not going to be traveling that far, so I did. And if whatever reason we can't get down the street, then we can certainly just come back to our spot down here. Now I do see some of the other media that are down here, so I'm wondering, should I interpret that to mean that they won't let anybody down that street? But we're about to find out. So, because one of the people that I was chatting with said that they saw some activity down in front of one of the homes down on the street. So it's worth it right now. For those that are watching, we're in North Kingstown. This missing person situation seemingly has come to a close, and so let's see if we can find out. I went down this street, but actually we went down the street when we were live just a short time ago. Last hour, we went down here, and I was actually, looking left and looking right. I mean, it was definitely kind of odd, but let's just see. Maybe we see something live. But we were live actually. We took a ride and went down in this direction. Where, as I had said earlier, this is where the individual had requested water and a flashlight. So let's just see if we see any type of activity down here, or maybe possible that they cleared out. Again, it's a beautiful. We were right down here, as a matter of fact. I was thinking I had signed off. No, for those that were watching, we were live right down here. So, and we're still right now 1:33. All right, now that was a tip that I got, but it's very possible that they were here and then cleared out, because right now I do not see any type of activity. So if there was any type of activity down here, it would seem that they have cleared out. So, and that can happen. Listen, the good news is that the individual has been found and found alive. And and also, just so people understand the nature of these things, normally we then try to get information afterwards is can be difficult. Meaning, are we ever really going to find out where the individual was? Most of the time, they do not cooperate. So now I believe my source is saying that they think the police went down this street that we're on and located the individual. But I cannot confirm that, other than she was, in fact, found alive. I wondered, just because some of the structures. Now, here's a really good question. You would think that if this was the last place the person was seen, that they would have thoroughly searched. You would think that. But again, you don't, were they down here with a canine? Were they down here on foot? Or were they just down here driving? I'll have to find out. We'll find out the full story. But I do want to once again commend North Kingstown. They certainly utilized all their resources. Very good job by police and first responders. And it sounds like they were able to locate the individual. Now, I do want to get to. No, I'm going that way. All right, I'm just signaling to. Okay, we're going to go this way. Okay. All right, so there's some of the media that is clearing out. We're still going to stay in our spot. Let me see if I can get my shady spot back where we were. You can still see Channel 10 is still on scene. I'm not sure if Channel 6 is still on scene, but they were here for a period of time. And so we're going to go right back to where we were, just so we can finish our hour. And always better in the shade. All right, there we go. Let's stay on track. Folks, again, 1:35. Now, those that are watching, we try, what do I talk about? One of the deals of it's to be mobile. It's to be where the story is. And I can tell you right now, on this Wednesday, that this is the local story, a missing person search. And fortunately, it has seemingly come to a good conclusion. Now, I want to remind people, if you want to get some branches trimmed outside your home or business, contact JD's Lawn Care and Tree Service. Call them today, 401-441-0154. Now, right now, at 1:36, we do want to do the news of the day. And the biggest story right now of the day, as I said, locally, is that the biggest story nationally obviously continues to be the election. And earlier in the radio show, I played the sound of NBC News of what is going on down with some of the people that are getting into the country. And I'm looking at some headlines right now. Colorado girl, 8 years old, fights back against kidnapper in clown mask. Folks, see, this is one of the problems with Halloween, where every nutcase uses it as an opportunity to start wearing a mask for crime. But there's a lot of talk about that. Was a pathetic interview that Harris did with the reporter from NBC, Hallie Jackson. But the story that I wanted to highlight, and I played it earlier, is it's a frightening story of these Venezuelan gangs that are coming into the country and the type of crime that they're committed. And that's something that I have said that I don't think it's been fully fleshed out. Is as much as some people may say that, oh, the whole thing about immigration and illegal immigration, but anyone that says that, you're missing the point. Department of Homeland Security has identified more than 600 migrants with ties to a Venezuelan gang. That is completely different. We can shut off the police radio for now. That is completely different than what we had been talking about with 600. That is an invasion. And you learn a lot from some of this. Department of Homeland Security has identified more than 600 migrants connections to a notorious Venezuelan gang, drawing growing concern from local federal law enforcement. 100 of the 600 are deemed subjects of interest, confirmed members of gangs. The others couldn't be found. Now, what I also found interesting is in Venezuela, they don't cooperate with the United States. Venezuela does not cooperate with other countries trying to get criminal. I haven't heard that mentioned. When Governor McKee and Matos say the people that are coming into Rhode Island, they don't have criminal records. So I want to give credit to NBC News. They reported determining the exact number of these members is a challenge because, unlike most countries, Venezuela does not share its criminal histories or other information with U.S. officials. So it makes it difficult for border agents to identify who among the Venezuelans crossing the border may be gang members. So, and the thing about it is they call them, there's like a ghosting word to it. They don't know who it is. And can you imagine Venezuela doesn't supply us the information? So you have, 10 very dangerous gang members who are in Rhode Island's one of the states that they track where they've gone into. So they've been tied to sex trafficking in Louisiana, the point blank shooting of 2 New York City police officers, and they're tied to this Venezuelan gang. And Governor McKee and Matos like to say, these people, you can't find any criminal history of them. But what they're not, Governor McKee and Matos, what they're not saying is the reason you can't get any information is because Venezuela doesn't share it. So now that should not make anybody feel good. And I also want to mention, folks, and again, good afternoon at 1:41. We are on location. This is the real news. There was a missing person in North Kingstown. We've been live here. And then as we have been live, they've determined that the individual was found alive. But what I want to also point out is for McKee and Matos to say, you can't find any criminal record on these people. Well, that's not because they don't have criminal records. It's because Venezuela doesn't share their criminal history. So where you hear Seth Magaziner and Senator Whitehouse and Gabe Amo and McKee and Matos, and Rhode Island is a melting pot, and we're all immigrants, and these are dangerous. President Trump was right. These are dangerous criminals that we have seen come in. Now, I fully understand that right now there is absolutely a certified effort between now and Election Day to try to discredit him, to try to scare people. Harris is a weak candidate. And folks, and as I have said for you, don't fall for it. What we have right now, what we have in Rhode Island, this isn't a democracy. This is not. President Trump says he's going to disband the Department of Education. That's good news. Let me ask you, who listening or watching right now is happy with the public school education in there? They're not. This is insanity. If you want to send your child to private school or to Catholic school, then it should be school choice. And then you shouldn't have to pay for other people in sending their kids. And my parents did that for years. We all went to Catholic school and then, paid taxes. The whole system of the public school, it's a failure. It should be disbanded. The element of that the teachers unions and they control everything, and the Department of Education and blah, blah, blah. It's all a money-making scheme that has not produced good results. And if you send your child, there should be school choice. If you send your child to private school or Catholic school, you shouldn't have to be billed twice. And folks, if the public schools, if you disbanded the Department of Education, which they should, and then leave it up to the states, and President Trump has said that apparently the state of Indiana, that they have completely turned around their school system by not allowing the teachers unions to dictate everything. The teachers unions destroy public education. Destroy public education. It's not hard to figure out. In Providence, everywhere, wherever there's a charter school, parents want to send their children to the charter school. It's time to break up. This is ridiculous with these failed systems. But one of the problems is McKee, he's totally on board with all the failed systems. And shame on when you have a president in Biden 14 days before an election saying we have to lock up the Republican candidate. And the other side, they want to say that Trump's a dictator. They want to say we have to save democracy. What a joke. Folks, this portion of the program at 1:45 on this Wednesday, and it's brought to you by J. Perry Paving. Call them today, 401-732-1730. 401-732-1730. Letter J, J. Perry Paving. Licensed and insured. What a difference they could make. Hire them to pave your driveway. J. Perry Paving. High quality, fair pricing, exceptional service, 20 years experience, specialized commercial paving, residential paving, seal coating. Call J. Perry Paving for a free estimate today at 401-732-1730 for letter J, J. Perry Paving. Well, folks, good afternoon. Again, it is the John DePetro Show. This is the real news. I think the clock is ticking. I think, there's a reason why. I can't believe this headline. And this is NBC News. 600 migrants, ties to Venezuelan gangs, are in our country. That is deciding the election. That is deciding the election. Is the fact that, and look at now, the media is going after McDonald's. The media is turning on McDonald's. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, these stories are popping up. E. coli cases are linked to McDonald quarter pounders. Gee, I wonder who's putting that out. I wonder who's putting that out information to the media. That and that is the media is in a panic. The media is trying to take down the Republican candidate. And on top of that, I mean, the idea that all of this talk about Trump and Hitler, which is falling short, well, let's remember one party, the Democrat Party, the party of Governor McKee, the party of Sabina Matos, the party of Gabe Amo, the party of Governor Walz, and the party. Why do you think Walz is the VP candidate? Because Harris couldn't pick the Jewish governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, because the Democrat Party is the anti-Semitic party. The Democrat Party is against Jewish people. Period. End of story. Not even up for debate, not even close, fully aligned. You can't separate one from the other. All of this talk about Hitler, it's Biden who was saying we got to get him in the crosshairs about President Trump. It was Biden saying we need to lock him up. Folks, I want to reiterate to you, it is absolute foolishness, this business, that somehow democracy's on the ballot and the only way to save it is she's a weak candidate. They pulled a coup. They forced Biden out. They know it. He had stronger ties than she did. They have a major gender problem. And right now, think of this. On this Wednesday, October 23rd, the clock is ticking and the election is counting down and people are voting. And like many of you, I can't wait to vote. We need to have the state. The only way Rhode Island is going to be saved is turned upside down from Washington. And they're completely freaked. Now, today's Wednesday, October 23rd. A week from, less than a week, is Halloween is a week from tomorrow. And then Election Day is the 5th. Right now, the Harris campaign is collapsing. Now, granted, it's still a week and a half. And a lot of things can happen in the week and a half. In the year 2000, the October surprise was the Gore people leaked the weekend leading into the election that President Bush had some run-in with police on a suspected DUI in the 70s, I think in Maine. And that hit the weekend before the election. So, I mean, there's still time. And all of next week, I mean, they're doing everything in their power. But what I think is going to fail is this business of Hitler. And I think the momentum has shifted. I think the McDonald's, people are still talking about him at McDonald's. And now the media hitting back at McDonald's with these E. coli stories. Folks, this portion of our program, as I like to say, if President Trump lived in Rhode Island and President Trump was going to rework or remodel either a kitchen or bathroom, I'm telling you right now, President Trump would contact Dream Maker. Call them today at 401-433-7272. Dream Maker. They're right in Warwick. They're near Crown Plaza, right next to Kachai. Dennis and Christina at Dream Maker. You can call them at 401-433-7272. Dream Maker. One-stop shop. They take you from concept to completion. Respect, integrity, customer focus. Consider Dream Maker for your kitchen or bath. Upgraded living with your bath or kitchen remodel today, enhancing lives, improving homes. It's Dream Maker. Call them, set up an appointment right now on this Wednesday. If you've been thinking of redoing your kitchen or bathroom, Dream Maker, 401-433-7272 for Dream Maker. Well, folks, good afternoon. You know, many times, as I've stated in the past, when we do road patrol and we're out, I don't get politics involved. And the reason is because to me, we're out and we're covering crime. But what can't be ignored is you can trace so much crime to politics, whether it's Governor McKee and the decision to reinforce Rhode Island as a sanctuary state that it's identified, or the open border. As Donna Perry stated, all Harris had to say was, looking back, we shouldn't have ended Remain in Mexico. That's all she had to say, but she's incapable of saying it. She's not a great candidate. And right now, there is definitely a gender problem. There is, people perceive her as weak. People I like, and I played it earlier on the radio show, and those are women of color in Pennsylvania, and saying, what has she been doing for the past, 3.5 years? She wants 4 more years? What has she been doing? This business of I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Well, my question is, if you have those policy ideas and you want to implement them, so are you basically telling us that President Biden is resisting implementing these proposals? Why is he not? And furthermore, why is he not listening to you? Why is President Biden not implementing your policy ideas? But that's not happening. And the NBC interview at this point, Harris seems thrown. She seems disoriented to me. She also does. She took a full day off to get ready for that NBC interview. I think she seems actually exhausted. This is probably the most she's ever worked, and she has no choice but to continue to keep working and or trying to work. But I think right now, all the momentum, whether people like it or not, people, as they say, this is a change election. And it sure seems as though people don't want to continue on the path that we're on right now. And I can confirm, folks, we certainly don't like in Rhode Island. Who likes the path that we're on right now? Governor McKee is incompetent. Governor McKee, not one person has been fired over the bridge. Not one person has been demoted over the bridge. Not one person has been suspended over the bridge. Not one person has made any less money because of that bridge. Completely incompetent. And instead, we have businesses leaving and heading for the exits, whether it's Hasbro. The new CVS CEO is already telling people one of the first things they're going to do is move their headquarters to Massachusetts. There go more jobs. Folks, at this point, it's just people getting ready to leave. People have seen enough. And the thing about Governor McKee that is so devastating to the state is it'd be one thing if, let's just say, he was out of office in January, or let's just say he was out of office a year from now. Folks, keep in mind, Governor McKee is governor through December of 26. And every business that hears that, they think that's it. I'm not like, what? I can't stick around. I can't stick around like this. What is it going to be like? Him remaining in office. The guy is a job killer. He doesn't know how to manage government. The amount of overtime abuses that are going on. Prisoners are walking out of the ACI. The amount of illegals and criminals coming into the state is an all-time high. The amount of money and resources that is going into education and the free healthcare they receive at our emergency rooms. I mean, anyone that's objective, Governor McKee is clearly not the guy for the job. The only thing that he has going for him, the only thing that McKee has going for him is he still controls the station down the dial. He does. He still controls WMKRO. He still has his on-air surrogate on the air, running cover for him, protecting him. He still has that. Other than that, everything is collapsed. Folks, this portion of our program and a Trump presidency be the final death nail, because they're going to pull all this federal money that they blow through at the state. It's going away. It's going to be time to govern, and Governor McKee doesn't know how to govern. I mean, even his allies admit he doesn't know how to govern. Folks, this portion of our program is brought to you by Propane Plus in Rhode Island. Call Propane Plus 401-885-4209. In Massachusetts, 508-252-3359. Propane Plus, heating and cooling. You can depend on Propane Plus. Visit their website, propaneplus.com. Residential or commercial, you can depend on Propane Plus. Call them today. Great website, propaneplus.com, but give them a call today. They have the Rhode Island number and the Massachusetts number. It's Propane Plus, 401 885 4209, and in Massachusetts, 508 252 3359 for Propane Plus. Well, 159 on this Wednesday. You've been listening and watching the Real News. And again, repeating our big story of the hour, there was a missing woman in North Kingstown, and she was found under an hour ago. Great job by the NK police and the first responders. We will try to follow up, see if we get any details. My information normally, experience tells me they don't release a lot after that, but we shall see. All right, now coming up later, Road Patrol Live and subscriber only. Visit the website, depetro.com. Great job by our moderators. Great job by JR. We're back on the radio tomorrow at 11. Those listening, stay tuned for the 2 o'clock news. We'll see you later on Road Patrol Live.